Students, till now in data handling we have learned many things, many definitions we have come across. What is data, their types, how to record and organize the data, how to interpret the data, even how to interpret the pictographs given there. And after that we learned ourselves how to draw the pictograph to show the data, and then we understand how to read the bar graph and interpret or observe the information which is being provided in the bar graph. Now time to do one more interesting thing, that is how to draw the bar graph. So before learning how to draw the bar graph, we should know some basic things of a graph paper that I am going to tell you now. You can see this is a graph paper, and let me zoom a little more to show you. You can see these are the units. One dark line is here, okay, dark green in color it is showing, okay. Now suppose this is 1 unit box, okay. Now under this 1 unit box, if I'm zooming a little more, okay, zoom. Now you can see, if we just observe this length, along this length, this is divided into 10 parts, okay. 10 minute lines are there. So this one length, either horizontal side or on the vertical side, both side, it is being divided into 10 parts further. If we count the boxes inside it completely, this small boxes, they are 100, because 10 and it is 10 by 10 is 100. And in a standard graph paper, this one box, this size, okay, this is a square box of size 1 centimeter length, okay, or you can say the area is 1 centimeter square. And the smaller lines which are little lighter in color here is of 1 millimeter length, okay. So the 100 small boxes which are present in this one box, they are of 100 boxes which have the area of each box is 1 millimeter square, okay. So you might come across about the areas in the mensuration chapter in more detail, but my motive is to tell you that this one length is shown here in 10 parts. This is also in 10 parts. Why I am telling it so? Because if suppose 0 is mentioned here, and in some data, if I represent here 10 and I want to show a data for 5, so where I can represent it, or where I can draw the line? So exactly half of this, so this much is of 5 length. Now if in some case, like suppose these are 10 students, in some case I need to show the 8 students, if we go more minute, then we need to just count from here 1 and 2, means 2 lesser than this, and we can just put a dot here and we can show these are as from here 0 to 8, okay. So in this way we can represent if it is required. We should know this thing in detail. Now let us understand how to draw the bar graph. So for this we should have a graph paper, and the first thing we need to do is, after looking the data, is we need to draw the two perpendicular lines. You know what are perpendicular lines? Means they are at 90 degree to each other, okay. Like this, you can see I am drawing in front of you. Suppose I have drawn these two lines, okay. So these two lines are perpendicular to each other. Now you can see I have drawn this a little double. I have by mistake drawn it a little downside, so that is my mistake. That should not be done. Okay, we need to exactly draw it on the dark line. So these are the two perpendicular lines I have drawn, and we need to name these lines. The horizontal line, the meeting point, I'm giving the name as O, and the horizontal line is, we used to call it as x axis, so I'm representing here x. So second thing, the vertical line, we are representing it with y, as it is a y axis. We used to call the vertical axis as y axis. Fine. That's why it represents with OY, and this is OX. Now, along the x axis, we need to mark the information given in the data. Means whatever the information provided to us, we used to write, as we have seen in 9.3 also, as we were understanding, some captions were written here. So this time the captions are not given, that we have to choose, we have to write. So those we will write the information here and here also. Suppose we are drawing it vertical bar graph, then we need to draw like this. Fine, according to the information. Now, before drawing, we should know the scale. So the important thing is to write the scale here. Whatever the scale you are choosing depends upon the data. So 1 unit length equal to what? That scale we need to write. It is must to write. Then only we can start making the bar graph. After that, we need to draw the bars or the rectangles of equal width. So the width, you can see why the graph is helpful to us, because the width already given equal here. We need not to measure, we just need to draw them on the dark lines. So the widths are automatically equal. And even between the two bar graphs, the spacing should also be equal. Means whatever the space, suppose you are drawing, I'm just taking an example. Suppose I'm drawing this here, okay, and suppose another bar graph I'm drawing here. So can you see this spacing? So space of different bar should be equal. Okay, suppose I have drawn the third one here. So this space I'm talking about, so this should be equal. Okay, so what we are doing here in the graph, like I'm leaving it one unit length box here, then I'm drawing the bar, then I'm leaving it, then I'm drawing the bar, and then leaving it, then drawing the next bar. In this way we can get the equal spacing, and even the width of the bars are also here the same. So this is the job done by the graph paper. Okay, we have used the graph paper for this reason only, and that's all, students. So these are the things. To understand it better, to learn more how exactly we can draw, we need to take an example, or we can do the question from the book itself. So let us start 9.4 for this. You'll understand it better now.